I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, the oldest of 9 children, born to Tech Sergeant David Royston and Margie Royston. And so my father was in the Air Force, so we traveled, and my dad retired in Sacramento. So I went to high school in Sacramento.
It seems Jackie Thompson was born to be an educator. She had a love of reading, but it was when she began her study of Black history and culture, her passion was ignited.
So I was beginning to read Langston Hughes and Lorraine Hansberry and Raisin in the Sun. When I was a junior, I went to Sacramento State University, and my college counselor said to me, "Would you like to take your classes with a Black emphasis?" And I said, "What is that?" And he said, "You could take Black history, Blacks in government, Blacks in film, Black literature." And so that's when I really developed and found out who I was and more about my heritage.
An early school teacher spotted Jackie's potential to be a teacher herself, and the cast was set.
So by the time I was 18 going off to college, my mother said, "Jacqueline, you'd make a great nurse." But I said, "Mom, it's too late. My teacher said I should be a teacher. Plus the blood thing didn't go over well with me. So all I wanted to be was a teacher."
In 1987, she developed an African-American community outreach program that went on to inspire thousands of school kids across the state. She and her colleagues didn't just teach Black history, they brought it to life.
What if we become living history for the students? What if we portray like Jackie Robinson, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Bessie Coleman, the first African-American female pilot? And that went over so well from 1988 up until today that we continue to do those character portrayals.
As her outreach program took off, it opened doors for Jackie, especially one a little closer to her home at the Davis School District offices, where she has worked as Director of Educational Equity.
So I applied for the opening, and the day I got hired, my boss says, Sandy Peterson, Dr. Sandy Peterson said, "You'll also be doing the REACH training for us."
In 2017, Jackie retired, but that didn't last long. Davis School District needed her special background and abilities to address challenges relating to racism. She is currently the Assistant Superintendent.
December of 2021, our Superintendent Reid Newey said, "Would you come back and help us for a while?" And I said yes, because I don't think I ever really left.
But it has always been the children and seeing the light in their eyes as she teaches that has brought such joy to Jackie. It has also brought her numerous local and national awards for her work in civil rights and education.
When I'm in a school and I see the school children, and they are so embracing and so loving and so accepting of what it is that we're doing, that's what makes me feel happy. That's what energizes me. But when I see the reflection back to me, it's like they're saying the same thing to me. You can do and be anything.
And what does this teacher of teachers have to pass on to this graduating class?
To this outstanding graduating class of 2022 at the great University of Utah, first I say go Utes. And then I say to you, be everything that you can be. Help somebody and help yourself. What you give is what you get. I'll tell you, service to others is the rent you pay for living on earth. Utilize that gift, that God-given talent that has been given to you. It's going to make our world a better place. Remember, every person that you meet, treat with love, treat with kindness, treat with generosity.
That's a lesson none of us should forget.